Oh boy, RJ. Thought maybe we could get something going, build off that last game, but guess not.
No, and I was thinking maybe there could be a theme here. Just go down 2-0 every game, but actually come back from it this time. You lose the first 19 and then just win all the rest when you
Mm-hmm.
go down 2-0. But it was not to be. Turns out it's actually pretty hard to come back from a 2-0 deficit. There's a reason teams don't do it a whole bunch.
Yeah, I mean it is still the most dangerous lead in hockey, although that is feeling more and more like a dated statement in today's NHL. Uh, but it. I guess what was so disappointing was that they go down 2-0 after being the dominant team for the first 10 minutes of this game, but doing what we've seen them do all season long, which is be dominant, but not really turn that into high quality scoring chances, and certainly not capitalizing, no pun intended, on those scoring chances.
Exactly. I think in a lot of ways the Kraken did kind of pick up where they left off from the Nashville game early, with strong forechecking, retrieving the puck really well, moving it around in the offensive zone. But I don't know, that killer instinct that was there the last game as far as finishing those plays just wasn't there. They seemed kind of content to just control everything around the outside, get some shots occasionally, but not always be in the right areas. So yeah, it was a great 10 minutes overall, and they kept the Caps off the board pretty much
Mm-hmm.
entirely. But then, as soon as that first one goes in, I think that kind of shocked the Kraken a little bit, and they were reeling that next shift, and they let in another one. That was not a good response shift. The goal was really soft from Drieger, but still, the
Mm-hmm.
Caps had it in the zone. They were getting dangerous chances. It just wasn't the best response.
No, it wasn't, and I felt like it's just time and time again, Kraken not doing enough to create high quality scoring chances, not doing enough to score. Really, right? They're not attacking the middle of the ice at all. They're very content to hang out to the perimeter, either tough angles on the side or shots through very busy lanes from the point. That's just what they seem content to do right now, and we're seeing that is not a recipe to score. Like, it's just not for anybody. Um,
And and I feel like I've said this a lot this season, but the few times they do it, when Sheehan goes right to the front of the net and gets that chance in front, it creates an open net for Donskoy.
mhm.
When they do it, they're having success. You kind of know what the formula should be, but they just don't do it enough, consistently enough.
They don't. One person though who did was, I felt, Jaden Schwartz, who
Hmm.
was attacking from a very different spot on the ice than what we're used to seeing from the Kraken. He was trying to use the middle of the ice. He was coming in at tough angles for Vonchek to defend. He was having to make good saves off of Jaden Schwartz. So enjoyed seeing Schwartz back. We can go ahead and kind of roll into just talking about McCann and Schwartz being back real quick before we hop over to chat. I thought they both played pretty good games. I liked what I was seeing from Schwartz. Like I said, he was bringing in something different. It felt like maybe he'd been watching some tape, right? Paying attention to what all these Kraken games have been, looking at maybe what he could do differently to try to help out the team. McCann, it it was kind of an average to below average game for McCann, I feel like, for him, but still had some good moments here and there.
Yeah, and coming off an injury, that can be to be expected for McCann. Schwartz, I thought, added just an entirely different dimension to the Kraken offensively, what they were able to do. And I think you saw that most pronounced also in transition. I noticed that you had a lot of zone entries with possession for the Kraken this game compared to previous games.
Yes.
When they were without Schwartz, without McCann. I think a lot of the offensive system was designed to limit that time in the neutral zone and just, do these stretch passes, do these dump ins and go get the puck, because we don't necessarily have the skill to move it through the neutral zone. But I think in this game, the Kraken, figured from a coaching perspective, we do have the skill to move it through the neutral zone now. And Jaden Schwartz is one of the things that allows us to do that. And I thought we saw just some different looks from the Kraken offense because he was there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm excited to see how things are going to look, moving forward, having them both back. I think it's going to be, there should be better nights ahead, I guess.
Right.
All right, Hunter starting us off here in chat. We really let Vonacek go for Grubauer. Oof. Yeah, I mean, it could look bad certainly after tonight and maybe after some of the season that Grubauer's been having. I'll be honest, I haven't followed Vitek too much this year, but I'm assuming he's probably been better than Grubauer.
Yeah, certainly. But he's done pretty well. I think, save percentage in the area of 920. He's done pretty well for the Caps. Yeah, I don't know. From the 2 games we've seen the Caps, though, from the eye test, I haven't been all that impressed. But yeah,
like he made the saves he should have made tonight. Basically, the 2 goals were goals that you see go in on basically everybody. Like, I don't know.
But for the money of near league minimum, that's
yes,
equal out to better.
That for sure. Sergeant Pickles, that is a bummer considering the strong effort. Yeah, touching on what we had talked about already, which is just they can do so much for decent stretches of time, but if you're not going to take advantage of those and get on the board, particularly early, you find yourself in situations like this. And special teams.
Yes. Yeah, we can talk more about that. I'm sure we'll really get into that, but special teams were the difference tonight.
Yeah. Got Gregory. I was torn in this game because I'm from DC but currently live in Seattle, but the Caps needed this game more, so I cheered for them. # don't hurt me. Hey, I totally understand, Gregory. You got to do what you got to do in situations like this when you got your East Coast and West Coast team playing against each other. I get it. If you've got 2 teams and one of them's still in it and the other one isn't, right? That's what you do.
Yeah, no, it certainly makes logical sense. We will not hurt you.
No,
you're fine.
No, you're good. Tyler, number too many. I don't know. Number of lots of stuff. Too many bad penalties. Exactly. Bad, too many power play chances. I did see a tweet. I don't remember who said it, but it was basically for the Kraken. The PP stands for passive passing instead of power play. And I thought that was a very really accurate, description of what it's really been for them.
Yep.
Sergeant Pickles, for every great save Driegs made, he let in an easy one. So the second one was obviously an easy one.
Yeah.
I don't know when it comes to the Ovechkin goal, is that considered a goal goalies should have? Because we've seen Ovechkin score at least 250 of them in his career.
Yeah. At this point, I don't blame any goalie for letting one of those in. And that was teed up pretty darn perfectly too. It wasn't, kind of off a broken play or anything like that. It was just directly to Ovechkin in the exact spot he wanted to be. I'm just not going to blame Drieger. If you watch the shot, the puck enters the net before he can get all the way over. That's before any goalie could get all the way over.
He actually gets a little of it. It hits him there, but it's one of those things. Ovechkin, shooting it 95 miles an hour, and he knows how to place it. He knows the exact elevation to do it, right? He's never been one to always just pick the top corner with it, but he knows exactly how far off the ground it needs to be to get over pads, but sneak in through under a goalie's arm, because when you're moving cross crease like that, I mean, you are super vulnerable there. And that's been one of the things that has made it so devastating for the 15 plus years or however long it's been. Otherwise, Drieger rebounds, like we say every game from him. Stay in your crease sometimes, guy. Like, it freaks me out.
Yeah, the aggressiveness was back certainly, and and not to dismiss like because that soft goal, that second one, I think the timing of that as well, the
Hmm.
fact that that's so close after the first one that you're going down 2-0, that's just a killer goal in the the time and place in the game that it was. I think it matters a lot more than just allowing one soft goal.
Agreed. Reading ID, low key jealous of that person with the Vita Von Kraken jersey. Vitek
Oh
Von
yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
I,
broadcast
s-
mentioned that.
I saw it. They briefly went to it before quickly
Oh, they did.
cutting
Okay, good.
away. Yeah, and it is pretty great. Sergeant Pickles, 3 studs, Short King Blackwell, Schwartz solid in return, Donskoy goal, of course. Yeah, so Donskoy getting his second goal of the season. That was great to see. Good for him. Maybe this time it'll kickstart a scoring spree for him. Hopefully, we can all
Yeah, I
fingers
know we
crossed.
hoped that last time. That would be nice this time. But that whole fourth line was excellent.
It really was. We can get into some of the people that I thought struggled in a sec, but otherwise, yes, Blackwell has been amazing lately. I've loved everything we've seen from him. It was kind of a short king kind of day with Blackwell on one side, Connor Sheary on the other. Um,
Hmm.
but love everything. And then we already talked about Schwartz. Super
Yeah.
solid tonight. Really happy about that. Brian, hello, my friends. Happy McCann and Schwartz were back. Happy for Blackwell. Shot suppression was great. Taking penalties less great. We are not good enough to go down 2-0 and keep taking penalties. No, and I feel like we are also not good enough to go down by two multiple times in a game. Like I was
Yeah.
really happy Kraken they got back from that one, especially because like we said already, it hurt. You dominate the first 10 minutes and then you find yourself down by two. That sucks. There's no way around that. But they did a great job coming back from that. It was just you could tell. Certainly the Ovechkin goal, there was nothing left.
Yeah. At that point, it was just they had no energy.
But otherwise, yes. But happy everybody's back. I don't know the exact shot numbers, but yeah, it didn't seem like Drieger had to deal with too much.
I know it was 22 pretty late in the game.
Yeah, that seems about right. The zone time, right, like was
Yeah.
so
And
heavy in Kraken.
Yeah. 2 comments later, Stratic 25 shots. So
Yeah,
that gives
there
the
we
answer.
go. Yeah. Let's see. Hunter Drieger's stick handling is horrendous, especially tonight. P.S. Our power play still stinks. Yeah, no, it's terrible. You want to do your special teams rant now?
I mean, sure. Let's go. Let's go. We'll start with the power play. I mean, well, actually, the passive passing thing, I put it about as well as better than I could have probably. That's kind of all it is still. And yeah, they worked in Schwartz, they worked in McCann. McCann was taking some shots on the left side. Schwartz working net front. I still don't. I know he was like around every this game, but net front on the power play, I wasn't particularly impressed.
No.
With him, I still think Johansson's better in that spot. But yeah, the power play is just, you know, you run out of ways to describe how bad it is. Like since February 1st, they are net 0% on the power play. 0%. They've scored 2 goals. They've allowed 2 goals while on the power play. That's over a month worth of time. That's over 12 games. You just can't be 0% on the power play effectively for that long and expect to win very many games.
No, you can't. And it's mind-boggling that we are here 57 games into a season, and again, power play is still the number one thing everybody can point to and be like, why? Still why? Right? It was the problem at the beginning of the year. It was a problem in the middle of the year. Even when they were winning, they were sometimes struggling with it. Like it got good for a very short amount of time, but I mean, at least 40 games we've come on here for post game lives and talked about how bad the power play was that night. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like it's half a season's worth. We've talked about this and it doesn't get better, and I think that's going to be one of those things that is really going to lead to some sort of coaching staff change, whether it's Hackstall or just assistants. There's just no way at the end of this year when you look back at the power play that, there isn't some form of shakeup there, because I really don't think it's personnel. I just don't.
No, I don't. I think you see teams do more with less.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right, Stratic held the Caps to 25 shots. Loving it. This is my team, not surrendering to LA in the shot suppression championship. That's right.
It is a close race between the Kraken and Kings. It'll go down to the wire.
It is. Who cares what it does to our goaltending, save percentage, right? That's the price you pay for the true title. All right, Sergeant Pickles, 3 duds. Ovi scoring from the same place he always does. Everything about Tom Wilson and running out of scotch after goal 4. That's yeah, those are some 3 pretty bad duds. I will say in this one, we're back to. Did you see Wenberg tonight at all? Because like I didn't.
No, and I mean, we talk about how impressive Schwartz was. You look at the Wenberg, because Schwartz was on Wenberg's line, and
Mhm.
it's amazing how much I noticed Schwartz but didn't notice Wenberg. And that line, I think, until late in the third, had about 10% expected goals for share. So you had 90% against.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Wenberg kind of back to his old ways tonight.
yeah, it was bad because it wasn't just Schwartz; it was also Johansson.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
saw him, he was making plays all over the place. The two of them totally were. Wenberg just could not keep up. The other one I'm going to mention, Jamie Alexiak. He had a
Mm-hmm.
really really bad night defensively. You look at the first Connor Sheary goal. That's
Mm-hmm.
on him. His reaction will let you know that it's on him too. The moment that that goal happens. I know, like if you look at Money Puck or whatever you look at for like expected goals and stuff tonight, did okay because he was out there for both Kraken goals and gets an assist on that first one, even though really all he did was shoot it at the net, and it all turned into that scramble for a rebound. But I just feel like Alexiak, since he came back from injury, the only place he contributes is kind of offensively, but it's just kind of doing what he did tonight, which is he'll just kind of throw some pucks. We've seen him as he's gotten more back from the injury, do his whole like I'm gonna skate into the zone kind of thing, whatever. But defensively, he's just been so bad, and it's surprising to me.
Yeah, same. And I'm glad you brought that up because if you didn't, I was going to. And where was it more evident that on that Sherry goal on the power play, Alexiak, he sees him the whole way. He looks over, sees him,
Mm-hmm.
engages with him, but just doesn't use his size at all. And any kind of physical battle to tie him up would have prevented that goal completely.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like he was, out there trying to break the puck up or anything. He just had one job, and that's take away your man. And when you're almost a foot taller, almost a full foot taller, 11 inches, than the other guy, you should be able to tie him up. And you just can't have that.
Yeah. So Wenberg and Alexiak, 2 guys that I thought really kind of struggled tonight, and that was a little bit unfortunate to see. Sergeant Pickles, maybe best case scenario, team loses but plays well. I mean, there is that. It wasn't as
Every
bad
reason
as
to have
some
the
nights.
gaining.
Yeah, that's right. Brian, goal number 2, got to stop that. Ovi's power play goal is so obvious that it almost feels like a poor effort on Drieger's part. 840 by Drieger tonight. It's not going to cut it. No, and we've seen that all season from the Kraken, right? These
Yep.
sub 900 save games. Again, it's part of the thing. If you're gonna limit shots the way that they do, gotta stop the ones that you do face. Um,
Yeah, and sometimes it's only even allowing one goal that's truly soft that you
mhm.
truly need to get. But in the context of those games, and usually when that goal is allowed, that's enough to just throw everything off.
It is, and it turns into a really difficult situation. Again, we talked about the Ovechkin one. I don't know if we're gonna blame Drieger on that one, we got to blame about 100 other goalies too. All right, super chat from Kitty V Kraken. Happy birthday, Hockey Mom. Hoping we could get a win, but at least we have ECH. That is right. It is Hockey Mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Hockey Mom.
Yep. Happy birthday to Hockey Mom. I know she's watching this, enjoying the stream. Thank you, Mom, for hopping on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't want to steal anything away from Hockey Mom, but it's also
I
Afra's
know we have
birthday.
another birthday.
I
Yep.
know. Hey, you want to say
Is the
hi?
other birthday girl gonna hop on the stream?
You wanna say hi to everybody? Show them your birthday bandana. No, she doesn't. She's all
Ooh.
snuggled in on her couch. I'll get her later.
I think the people need it to deal with this
That
loss
is
tonight.
that
I
is
think
true.
it'll go a long way.
I'll work on her. We'll see.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see. Hunter, all right, real talk. Do we actually have a true number one goalie? Both goalies are streaky at best and very inconsistent. I was thinking this. It was like, okay, cool. We get Drieger tonight. Like, all right, let's work with Drieger more. We've been getting him
Mhm.
in more. But then as the game goes on, I'm just like, oh no, I don't know that I want to see Drieger as he's, a mile out of his crease, as I'm just seeing these rebounds just sit there. It's hard.
It is. And to answer your question, I don't really think there is. I mean, Grubauer in name, but I think the way that both goalies are playing this season, no, neither of them are playing at a level worthy of being an NHL starter. But that's, one of the things we know about goaltending is it's, very, like it varies quite a bit. It's streaky a lot of the times. It's
Hmm.
inconsistent, and hopefully the Kraken are on the better side of that next season.
You don't. It almost have to be. Like
Yeah,
it would be unbelievable for it not to be. Let's see. Reading ID. My first star has to be Allison Lukic. She's great. She's fire at breaking down plays. Yes, it was nice to have Allison on the broadcast. I thought she brought a lot.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, when they announced it yesterday, I knew we were all in for a treat. Allison, fantastic on the broadcast. It's amazing how natural she sounded too, given she doesn't have a whole lot of experience there, but it sounded like she's been doing that for years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was excellent on the broadcast. And it was cool to hear some of the things that she was talking about that I've heard in the past behind the scenes. She mentioned the conversation with JT about the power plays being broken up by period. And I remember
Yes.
sitting there at morning skate as the two of them were having that conversation and her pulling up the stats and showing, what the difference is in power plays that are broken up. So it was cool to see that kind of stuff make it onto the broadcast. Yeah, just great to have her there.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too because that was just a really really fun moment. Because that is something that I think a lot of fans would think about, but like, where do you go to really figure that out? You know what I mean? Um,
Allison knows always.
Allison
She pulls
always
out her
knows.
laptop and
Yep.
gets to work.
Yep. So it was really awesome, and yes, just the confidence in which she approached it all was very evident in how well she did. You know what I mean? Like it paid off. She took full advantage of her opportunity. Really, really nice to see. Brian Vonacek 920, no Kraken goalie even at 900. I hope the second round pick I think we got for giving Washington Vonacek back turns out to be awesome. It was a second, right?
Yeah, it was a second. It
Yeah.
was 1 second. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. It's been a
Yeah.
rough year. I mean, we just gotta
Yeah,
get over it.
it can definitely happen. As a Sharks fan, I think, former Sharks fan, I think about the Mika Kiprusoff, Mark Edward
Mm-hmm.
Vlasic trade. They let this great goalie Kiprusoff go for a second round pick. You're thinking, oh man, we can't believe we let him go. He's great for so many years. But with that second round pick, you draft Mark Edward Vlasic, who's a fantastic defenseman, for over a decade.
Yeah. And then another super chat coming in, this time from Hockey Mom wishing Afra a happy birthday. Love it. Happy birthday again to both of you. All right. Absurdly sane with you. With reading idea on Allison, nothing against JT, but I felt like her commentary was much more helpful to me, a hockey newbie. I could see that. Like I said, she was very confident, not afraid to kind of jump in and really call it like she saw it, and I
Mhm.
appreciated that a lot because she is so knowledgeable and she does have a really good way of breaking it down so that everything is very easy to understand and follow.
Exactly. And she approaches a lot of things kind of with that mindset. She writes those great analytics with Allison articles and
Hmm.
that are directed at, newer hockey fans trying to learn the details of the game. And so I think that, kind of came naturally to her. It's just an extension of kind of what she's already been doing.
Yeah, exactly. So, should be around for a couple games. It sounded like is what it. Is it the whole road trip?
I don't know. I don't think they were clear just while JT's in COVID protocol. And again, hope JT gets better soon. Never want to
Yeah,
see someone out, in COVID, but yeah, I hope we get him back soon.
yeah. All right. So Valentina's got a question here. On the first goal, Lazan was covering for Dunn. Both were out of position. Whose fault is the goal? So it's Tom Wilson's.
Yeah.
If Tom Wilson's involved, it's his fault. Um, Based
I
on
mean,
what I'm remembering of it, it's just kind of one of those plays where he just kind of split them, right? Like he just hit them with speed. They were back on their heels, and then he kind of just split them at the end.
well, Ovechkin carries the puck into the zone, and that's where it starts. And
Mm-hmm.
Ovechkin takes the puck to the inside on Lozon. And ideally, if you're Lozon, you'd like to keep him more to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Ovechkin makes a good move to the inside, but Lozon didn't get fully beat there. And he did take his man out of the play. Ovechkin wasn't able to do anything, but Tom Wilson comes in following up and is able to make the move. And I think it's
It's Jaden
Schwartz.
Schwartz, yeah.
Jaden Schwartz was just left there, and it's a tough position to be put in. As a forward, that's not really your natural spot there. So I understand it, but yeah, it's I don't know what's your verdict.
Yeah, after just watching it two or three times, what it really is yes, Lauzon does the right thing. He plays back when he sees Dunn move up, Everything's good there. He matches Ovechkin's speed coming back. He plays aggressive on Ovechkin. Yes, Ovechkin's able to make that move and go inside, but really what ends up making the whole play work is Ovechkin turns around and protects the puck with his body. Lauzon has no play to make on Ovechkin at that point. He's completely stalled him out, as you said. He's taken him out of the play at that point. However, Ovechkin, I don't know if everybody knows this, really good player, right? Uses his big body, which is something that, has helped him get to where he's been over the course of his career, to protect that puck and make sure that even though he's out of the play, he's in a position where he can, continue to push the offense forward. Tom Wilson just happens to be right there for Ovechkin to pass the puck to. And then, Tom Wilson just kind of does one of those like inside out moves on Jaden Schwartz, and, it's over.
Yep.
So I don't know that it's anybody's fault, really, in that situation. I'm okay with Dunn making the move he does that kind of sets everything in motion, because
Right.
Lauzon did cover for him. They did what they were supposed to do. They just got beat by two good hockey players.
Exactly. Nothing egregious there. If I blame anyone, it's just the Caps players for being good.
Yeah. Joshua, well, my friends, everyone can blame me for this one. Clearly, I picked the wrong jersey. Yes. I hope you.
It's Joshua's fault.
Yes, there we go. I hope you still enjoyed the game, you and your boy. The one thing you can hang your hat on is you saw a Kraken game. Right? Like, that is one thing that we can all say when we go to these games. I know everybody's been, oh, it's my fault. It was a Kraken game. That being said, like I do.
Got the experience.
Yes, you got the experience, but I really hope that you still had a good time despite everything. Because I know how special and how forward you're looking to this. So. Reading ID, I love JT, and he has that player perspective, but definitely still growing into the role. Can we just keep all three dream team? I'd be down for something like that. I don't know that it could work, but it'd be fun.
Right. There's only so much kind of airtime to go around, but that would be great. I mean, you can never have too many great voices on there, right? Well, you probably could. If
you know
up
what?
To 5 or 6.
I was gonna say it can work because we saw it for years on NBC, right? You'd have like Doc and Eddie up in the booth, and then Pierre Maguire down between the glass. And what made that not work was that it was, in my opinion, both Eddie and Pierre. Certainly Pierre.
What if all three were good?
I know, but in this case scenario, I think having all three would really work. So I'd be in favor of them doing something like that, where really Allison could hop in as kind of that third man in, so to speak, and really break down one significant play, per stoppage kind of thing, or per commercial break.
Right. And I don't think they infringe a whole lot on each other's. They both have good perspectives, and they're different perspectives. They bring something very different to the table.
Yeah. So there you go, Root. Do that. Not that you've been listening about putting the shots on goal up on the graphic.
I was going to say,
yeah. Says a lot. I was more expecting a shorthander than a power play goal. That's from Sergeant Pickles, and no shade on JT, but she was great with Forsland. Yeah, no, I hear what you were saying, Sergeant Pickles, but then PK wasn't that good tonight, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, gosh, you know what we need? We need to take a penalty.
Nope,
just not there. All right. Oh my gosh, super chats coming in like crazy here. We got Brian coming in first. Happy birthday, Hockey Mom and Afra. Okay, I can only be critical for so long before it's back to a positive take. I get to see my first Kraken game tomorrow in Raleigh. Lower bowl, Kraken shoot twice end. # excited. I know you've been looking forward to this one too, Brian. Super pumped for you to go see them. We'll see what kind of Kraken game you get. Hopefully it's a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Hope you get good luck of the draw there. Sounds like you got really good seats. You're going to have a great view. And I know Dylan and I behind the scenes just been talking about how excited we are for you to get to see this game.
You and Joshua. It's been fun for us. We're very invested in all of you. So it's been cool. And then Sergeant Pickles following that up with a super chat. Scotch or Gatorade's on me. We all need it. And happy birthday, everyone. Yes, it's been a good birthday celebration. Come here, you. Everybody's wishing you a happy birthday. Come on. Get up. Come on.
Thank you, Sergeant Pickles. Yeah. Definitely we go to the Gatorades.
Yes.
In my case, Dylan might have Scotch. I don't know, but.
Yeah, no. I had a Gatorade. I finished it before we got going.
Oh, there she is. There you go.
Say hi. Say hi. There she is in her birthday bandana. Just chilling. She was asleep. She's upset now, but it's all right.
How old is she, Dylan?
She just turned 3 today, so technically no longer a puppy. We'll see if that, saves me from having to pick up stuffing from toys every night all over the place. I'm not holding my breath.
What
Um,
what's that in dog years? Is she draft age yet?
oh
Eligible?
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
It's all confusing. I know that it used to be the 7 year thing, but I don't know
Nearing free
anymore.
agency then?
Yeah. Um, End of the entry level contract. That's where she's at. Huh.
Okay. Getting
Uh,
paid.
yep. Sergeant Pickles still blows my mind that Alexiak gets outmuscled by everyone, or by anyone. Yeah, it's crazy. It shouldn't happen. I don't understand it. Chara finds a way to be really tall and not let that happen.
Yep. It's just a matter of will. We know he's got the size. We know he's got the muscle.
Mm-hmm. And then Striatic, it is wild how differently from each other Grubauer and Drieger play sometimes. Drieger's so aggressive, just visually so much ice and empty net behind him at times. It is. It's terrifying. I don't know how to describe it, but oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's so interesting aesthetically to look at the two different styles. We've talked about this in the past, but it's just striking every time we see them in close proximity to each other.
I know. If you could just take the positioning and rebound control of Grubauer and mix that with the kind of aggressiveness at times and the challenging, and certainly the ability to, maybe try to stick his stick in there and try to disrupt the pass every now and then from Drieger, you'd have, I don't know, a really good goaltender.
An over
Shosturkin,
900 save percentage goalie, yeah.
yeah, you'd have a league average goaltender. Um, all right, Rock Todd, Dylan, what's your scouting report on latest free agent signing? Who's their latest free agent signing? Am I spacing?
Oh, is it Ty Cartier? Is that the?
Oh, maybe.
That is technically their latest free
That
agent
is.
sign.
I know.
I mean, yeah, Dylan, I don't think has seen him at all.
No.
I saw him a little bit in training camp to start the year because he was in the Kraken's training camp. Didn't really notice a whole lot that stood out to me. But we'll see how he does, in the AHL and what he can do.
Yeah, but have started on the Logan Cooley scouting video, so that is fun. Nice. Ty Jacobs, has Schwartz always been this physical? Dude was throwing the body around a bunch. I don't remember him playing like that. Lol. He didn't play like that too much earlier in the year for Seattle, but historically speaking, yes, he has been that physical.
Exactly. Yeah. Over his career in general, he has been. And I think there was also some element of just kind of wanting to, give a hit, take a hit, get back into a game after being out for so long. I know that's something that players will talk about, wanting to do when they've been out for an extended period of time.
Yeah, exactly. Some more birthday wishes for everybody. Rock Todd, are they showcasing Chris before deadline? Back-to-back Chris, rare this year. Yeah, I mean, we've certainly speculated on that. I don't know that he's been doing much to help any sort of trade value that might be there. But
yeah, I think it might have been the case, especially, against the Caps, who might be looking for a goalie.
Yeah. Stratic, Seattle Kraken have the deepest bench in broadcasting. Everett Fitzhugh, Allison Luca both killed it in relief. Are they at risk for trade to a broadcast team looking to go on a deep playoff run? I don't know. That being said, sometimes the national broadcasts will steal, people because they'll have so many games that they have to do for the playoffs.
Right, and that's certainly possible. I mean, given the crew that the Kraken have, you'd get them back next season. That's the great part. Yeah. But it certainly wouldn't surprise me if one or both got the call for a national game in the playoffs. But yeah, you're absolutely right. The Kraken do have the deepest bench in broadcasting. And I don't think there's any risk of, at least now, of either the two of them leave. I mean, Allison can do whatever she wants, but I think Everett's happy in Seattle. I don't think he's wants to go anywhere anytime soon.
Exactly. Some more birthday wishes. And then Sergeant Pickles, Sounders final, teams I support, 0-3 today, big oof. Yeah, well, that certainly does help explain why the Scotch has gone so quick. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Sergeant Pickles is one of those days, one of those Seattle sports days. Hunter, only 2 losses back from the first pick in the draft. Take that how you will. Yeah, I mean, they're Kraken finding ways to lose, finding ways to stay, really high up there.
Coyotes and Habs both with wins today. So 3 points out of last.
That's a big swing. Reading ID, How have we not talked yet about Jonas Donskoy goal scorer? Yeah, I mean we talked about it a little bit. I'm just hoping that it wasn't, he got one for the first half and one for the second half of the season.
Yeah, let's not have it be like that. Hopefully this can get him going again because he played great. Besides that too, I mean, it was a really, that goal was an open net, but he created so much offense aside from that too.
Yeah, agreed. He's been doing that all season though, right? He's been good on PK. He's been good everywhere.
Yeah.
Ty, who has a worse record than me? Lol, I'm at 0-10 and
Oh,
not even an OTL loss in there. The title is earned, never given. That is right. You've earned every bit of that, Ty.
yep. I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone right now with the worst record. Oof.
Absolutely brutal, but it is what it is. You've been taking it in stride. Sergeant Pickles, hell yeah, win or lose should be great. Hope to see you on the TV feed. Yeah, we did see Joshua on the TV feed. Don't know
Yeah, that's true.
if you noticed that or knew that, Joshua. You got the where I root thing where they highlighted. I believe
someone pointed out on Twitter.
Yeah.
To him. Yeah. So that was great.
Yeah, so that was
and
cool.
hopefully we see Brian tomorrow.
Yeah. Strad at Kraken versus Canes. After seeing the Canes a bunch lately, I'm not optimistic for the Kraken. That team is strong and they are consistent. They are, but we've beaten them
You
before.
said that the last time they were going to play the Canes, though. That's exactly what we thought. Thought they had no chance, but the Kraken will get up for those games.
That's what we want them thinking. That's why we lost tonight, just to lull them into a false sense of security tomorrow. Not sure there's that much. Valentina, lol, it's Tom Wilson's fault. Happy to hear your evaluation that Dunn and Lauzon did what they were supposed to do and just got beat by better players. Yeah, I mean, it does happen sometimes. I know this year for the Kraken, it might sound crazy that, there was just a good play made by the other team and it wasn't totally on them, but it does happen.
It does. Yeah, it happens, especially for other teams. It seems to happen more,
Yep.
when things go wrong.
After Dogskoy, at least ECH has a mascot. That is true.
Yeah, we have a mascot. We've had mascots. So. What are you doing, Kraken?
I know. Ty, you can still have a great time if they take the L. Just being in-house for NHL level hockey is an experience itself. Have a blast. It is, Ty. And that is in my opinion, the correct mindset if I'm capable of judging such things that way.
Exactly. Yep. No, could definitely have some fun with the loss.
Mm-hmm. Sergeant Pickles, podcast request. Are there specific things the defense in Florida and Colorado did that allowed the goalies to be their best? And then Hunter quickly responds, they just have better D-men. that is kind of part of it, I think. Again, on paper, Kraken should be able to match that. Yeah, part of it's just been system. I think part of it is just being uprooted in the off season, coming into Seattle so late. Goaltending can just be so finicky from time to time. I don't know.
Yeah, there's an adjustment period, for a lot of goalies, I think. And watching Colorado also, it's weird. You talk about shot suppression with the Kraken, like watching in the playoffs, especially in that Vegas series where I got a really good look at Grubauer. The Avs weren't playing particularly good defense. I mean, they were exposing Grubauer to a lot of chances, a lot of high quality chances.
That's the key,
we
though.
talked about that. Yes. Is maybe he's just one of those goalies who needs to see a lot of shots. But what they were able to do, because they were playing that way and they were taking extra risks, is they were able to score a whole bunch of goals, goal support for him. So that, yeah, maybe he's facing all these high quality chances, maybe even allows 2 or 3, but you're scoring 4 or 5 a game for him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so those don't, feel as big an issue. I was just going to say that I felt like, well, at least in Colorado, it's more up-tempo, fast-paced, back-and-forth style, so Grubauer was able to be in it more, be more present. It seemed very much so far this year that that's the way he's like to be. Brian, I will be in my Kraken hoodie and cap. It's going to be a blast. I'll be with my son and daughter-in-law, who will be in Canes jerseys. Lol, will be memorable. All right. Hope you have fun with that one.
Yep.
Should be good. I always like going to games with people rooting for the opposite team. It's always fun.
Yeah.
And it's always fun being the the visiting team fan in a road atmosphere like that.
Oh yeah. I love it.
Tyler, what draft prospect do you want the most on the team? It's from Tyler. That is a tough one. I mean, I know everybody's been critical of Shane Wright and the dip in production offensively. I still think he's probably the way to go, and he's probably the best option out there.
Agreed. I think he's still the best player in the class, even though, as you pointed out, some of the flaws there. Yeah, Shane Wright would be my pick, number one.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, just to have that depth at center too. Like he's gonna be, a good second center for sure for a
Yeah,
really long time.
got Beniers already. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Darrow's just glad I get to enjoy a post game without dying from exhaustion. I'll take being 500 against the Caps. See, again, it's all about these positive attitudes. Got to find the silver lining in there somewhere. It's always there. Yep. Joshua, we did have a good time. The Sun had a great time, and I got to see the Kraken live, and I'll take that any day of the week. Awesome. Glad you both enjoyed it. Daros, also, I looked it up, and 20% of Ovi's goals are one-timer from that spot. How has no team stopped him? It's always 9 guys to one side, then Ovi by himself.
It's because historically they've had other good weapons on that power play. If you take away Ovechkin, in the past it's been John Carlson's going to score, or TJ Oshie's going to score, Tom Wilson's going to score,
Mike
Nicholas
Green, way back in the day.
Green, or Mike Green's going to score. There have been plenty of other guys who put up good numbers on that power play because teams have tried to take away Ovechkin. You take that away, you open up something else. It's a difficult conundrum for a penalty kill.
Now, 5-on-5, different story. No excuses there.
Yeah, no, can't let him have that 5-on-5.
Yeah. Tyler, also, did anyone see the fan in the stands with the Vonacek jersey, Kraken jersey? Yes, we did. We talked about that earlier. It's awesome. What a jersey to get. Joshua, someone on Twitter said my hashtag where I root tweet made the broadcast. Not sure if that's true. Looking forward to watching it back to see. It did. It was on there. Might have been the only one actually that they did.
I think it's the only one I saw that they showed. So
yeah. So
picked a good one.
I'm trying to think if I can remember where in the game so I can maybe help save you some time. I believe it was early in the second. I might be wrong.
So.
I might be wrong though. But it was there. So go back for it if you can, if you got Espen or something. And then Striatic, teams need to start booby trapping that spot on the ice from Ovechkin. I mean, they've tried everything else.
Yep. That's some 90s stuff. That would have happened back then.
Oh yeah, no, they would have
have them cut
Florida,
some big roots into the ice.
I was gonna say Florida, New Jersey would have flooded that spot or right in front of it, so the puck just dies on the pass, right? Can't get there. Because that definitely happened back in the day. Sergeant Pickles, in my defense, the Scotch bottle wasn't completely full when I started. All right, yes. I wasn't trying to insinuate anything, I promise. Hunter, can we trade Hackstall at the deadline? Hashtag where I root.
Hashtag where I root.
I love that. Coaching trades, do they happen in the NHL? I'm struggling to think of one.
No, I mean, not really. No, it's never been.
Like, has it even happened at all? I'm sure it did back in the day. Like, it did way, way back in the day. But I don't know about the modern era.
Right, I don't think so. Remember when it was just draft pick compensation if you signed another guy, but coaching trade, no.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I wonder if one's happened post 67 expansion. Like that would be really interesting to find out if we can. Let's see. That's a power play pickle. If you just park someone on Ovi, it leaves other great players open to score. Yeah, so reading ID kind of talk about what we did. Okay, let's do this. Beniers or Wright, who is going to be better? Got a couple Beniers right away. As of right now, I would say Beniers because I would argue that their defense and stuff was pretty close. I might have even given Beniers the edge there when it came to the two-way play. And then certainly this year, Beniers' offense has looked so much better than Shane Wright's. Like Beniers can create offense in a way that a true number one center can. And I still have questions about Shane Wright's ability to do that.
Yeah, agreed. And Shane Wright could come out next year and work on his game, kind of improve the way that Beniers has. He's a year younger, but certainly looking at the trajectory, I'd say Beniers.
Yeah, Wright's almost. Go for it.
Oh, I would say I found out the last time a coach was traded. I think Michael Bergeron in 1987 for a first-round pick and $75,000 cash.
All right, there we go. So it has happened in post-expansion era. Interesting. I was just gonna say Shane Wright almost 2 years younger than Matty Beniers too, so that will factor in. And like I said in the scouting report, Beniers, not Beniers, Shane Wright really trying to focus on defense this year too. So that could be why his offensive numbers have dipped so much, because he's just not trying. I know that sounds bad, but it's in essence, it's not where he's really focusing. This is from Sergeant Pickles. I expect Beniers to be very Bergeron-esque, not as flashy, but consistently effective. Brian with the excellent call. Yeah, I liked the Bergeron comp. Like I said in my scouting video, he reminds me more so of Crosby in style, right? Obviously, like he doesn't quite have that skill. Very few people, if ever, do. But you look at like Crosby, especially this year, really trying to take a back seat offensively to focus on defense to help out the Penguins because that's where they've needed it. And Beniers reminds me defensively more so of Crosby in that he'll play lower in the zone, closer to his own goaltender, really try to take away, okay, if there is a one-timer, like he's there to block that shot. You know what I mean? Or to swipe it away from the opposing team, where I feel like Bergeron's a better shutdown on an opposing player specifically kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like you can match him up one-on-one with somebody and that person just doesn't exist anymore. Beniers, I don't know that he has that kind of one-on-one ability, but he certainly has the defensive smarts to know where the play is going and how to disrupt it.
Yeah, good breakdown there. I'm learning things. That was cool to listen to. The differences there.
I know, because it is, there's no one right way to play defense or any of that stuff. So there's different styles. They're all effective, but just based on what I've seen, that's what I've determined. And we already established earlier what I say is law. So Sergeant Pickles, assuming we end up in the draft where we are now in the standings, who do you see going top 3? Shane Wright was
Wright number 1.
Yeah, Wright for sure number 1. I think Logan Cooley's probably found his way into that conversation just based on how he's shot up the charts so far this year. And then probably Savoy. He's kind of weathered
Wright, Savoy in whatever. Well, Wright 1 and then Cooley and Savoy in whatever order.
Yeah, Savoy has kind of weathered the storm for the guys that were preseason high picks better than, Brad Lamberts or some other guys. Greg bringing up Torts and Vigneault swap teams the offseason 2013. Not official trade, but close. That was true. Tortorella and Alain Vigneault. Gosh, was that really 2013? That's so long ago, but it feels like not that long ago.
I know. I say it feels more recent than that, but yeah, that was 9 years ago.
Oh, we're so old, RJ. Sergeant Pickles, the Vegas San Jose coach swap wasn't a trade, but close. That is true. Your boy.
Yeah, DeBoer going over. But San Jose didn't get Gallant, so it's fine.
Yeah. Tyler, when Hacksaw gets fired at the end of the season, I hope he's hired as the mascot. His fire and passion is one of a kind. Obviously kidding. That is
about the anti-mascot.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I get it. It is sometimes disappointing when they cut to those coaches, camera shots and something has just happened and he's just sitting there. Like I at least want him talking to the team more. Like what? Like I don't know. Yeah. He doesn't he doesn't even chew gum. Like there's just nothing.
I know. In the world, I think it all balances out with how people are. You get a Hackstall, in one area, and you get like a, Strawberry on the other side, and it's just averages out.
Yep. I was gonna say, that being said, the fiery coaches have their downsides too, right? We don't have to worry about Hackstall going to try to fight the entire other team during an intermission by just storming their locker room all by himself. That was John Tortorella, everybody, in case you didn't know. He tried to do that against the Calgary Flames one time. He got like all the way to their door too before they finally were able to stop him. He was just going to walk in there and just start going crazy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Brian, that's next level savage. It was pretty brutal, but yeah, we had fun with it. All right, do a last call for comments and stuff. Otherwise, we'll get out of here. Sergeant Pickles here. I'm gonna say it, and I don't like it. We will be worse next year, but with younger players and far more upside. What coach fits that? And I don't count Hack. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. One of the big things we're going to be talking about on the podcast on Monday was, of course, Ron Francis's comments from this past week, where he talked about being very aggressive in free agency. I don't know that it is going to be a young team next year, and I don't know that it's going to be necessarily a bad team. Obviously, going the free agency route is going to, it's going to have its own ups and downs, and we're going to talk about that. But I think depending on what kinds of free agents they come in, what needs they seem to identify as the thing they want to address the most, that's when we'll have a better idea of a coaching option, I think.
Yeah, agreed. And I think, given what Francis has signaled, if that's anything to go by, I don't think that the team is going to be worse and younger. I think it might be better and older, given what he's signaled. So we'll see. Yeah.
That's how you kickstart the build, RJ. You get older.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, sorry that last podcast became, somewhat obsolete so soon after releasing it with Ron Francis' comments.
The next day rendered irrelevant.
Yeah, I know. We talk about this, steady build and building it up through the draft, and Francis comes out the very next day and he's like, yeah, we're going to go sign a bunch of free agents. We're going to compete next season. Let's go.
Yeah, well, Seattle Times might have had something to do with that. Yeah. All right, Stratic. I love Colin Blackwell. I don't care what the world thinks. I love him too, and he's finally playing like the Colin Blackwell I was hoping we were going to get.
Yes, finally. And this is what we saw from him last season with the Rangers. He was just this spark plug type of player, doing these exact kind of things, and why we were so excited about him coming to the Kraken. He was voice on the projected roster for a long time, and eventually I thought he'd worked his way into being kept, but, the Rangers lost.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd love to see that from him.
Yep, and then some people agreeing with that. Same on Short King. It's from Sergeant Pickles' tie. When Blackwell stays on his skates, he is magic. That is true.
And he's even more magic when he doesn't.
I know. There is something fun about that. Sergeant Pickles, they need to fix this offseason all of the things they didn't do with the draft. Yeah, the expansion draft, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Corey, thanks, gents. Really like the show. You're welcome, Corey. Thanks for being here. Brian, love our Short King Blackwell and his court jester, Ryan Donato. I was going to say, I know the jersey got delayed for Brian. It was supposed to do the big jersey reveal for the game tomorrow. I think it's okay if we say our guesses now. We won't influence anything from months ago. My guess was Ryan Donato, Brian. So,
yep. And my guess who was my guess? I went back and forth on it a couple times. Who was my guess?
I don't know. Was it Schwartz? It might have been pre-Schwartz injury.
I think it might have been Schwartz, but now I don't know. Well,
Tanev maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Tanev might have been. That's tough.
It was a long time ago. That might have been when Tanev was still healthy and in the lineup.
Yes. Donato's a good guess though.
Yeah.
That might be who I'd go with you if I was guessing today.
Reading ID, Blackwell had a little wobble tonight on his way to scoring. Maybe helps to be underestimated. Lol. That is entirely possible. They thought he was going down. They're like, oh, we've seen this before. All that tape we've been watching. Yeah. And then let's see. I didn't get Blackwell at first, but I'm loving him now. Yeah. No, he's been great, Valentina. This was the player we knew what we were getting, that we were hoping we were getting originally. It'd be funny seeing Francis trade for a player that he could have taken in the expansion draft. It's from Tyler. No, it wouldn't be funny, Tyler. It would be tragic.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you're welcome, everybody. Hope you all have a good one. We will look forward to your jersey reveal, Brian, when it comes.
Reminder everyone, if you haven't guessed yet on his Twitter post, free ECH gear if for a random person who gets the right guess. So put your guesses in. Make sure to get those in before the jersey reveal.
Yeah. So it should be good. And enjoy the game tomorrow, Brian. Hope you have a good time. Glad Joshua had a good time at the game tonight. Happy to hear that. And we'll catch you all tomorrow after this game against the Canes. See what we can do.
Right back at it.
Yep. All right. See you, everybody.